working to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Good evening, I'm Alma Angeles, and you're watching ASEAN in Focus. On tonight's headlines. President Marcos Jr. reiterated his support for the modernization of assets and enhancement of defense capabilities of the country's military, as tension in the disputed West Philippine Sea was not cooling down. Army soldiers from the U.S. and the Philippines are holding live fire exercises as part of their annual joint military training aimed at enhancing strategic readiness capabilities between the two treaty allies. A powerful 7.0 magnitude earthquake shook northwestern Papua New Guinea before dawn today, according to the USGS. And footwear enthusiasts converge in Singapore for the Sneaker Con, one of the biggest sneaker shows in the world. First in our news, President Marcos Jr. reiterated his support for the modernization of assets and enhancement of defense capabilities of the country's military as tension in the West Philippine Sea was not cooling down. He's also urging the armed forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Air Force to keep all military assets in good condition and ready to go in order to fulfill their role as the country's first line of defense against external security threats. Take a look.
I am certain that our partners will be more than willing to aid us in developing your capabilities and making the necessary investments to ensure that we achieve our shared goals for the country and for this region. Just like the C-130 is designed for a wide range of missions, from day-to-day peaceful operations to hectic times of crisis, may you also endure all the challenges that come your way, face them with vigor and courage and duty. Remain steadfast as you continue to perform your duties, especially in the crucial role as our country's first line of defense against external security threats. Maintenance and repair are key aspects of our operations, as well as important decision points in the acquisition of additional assets. I therefore direct the Philippine Air Force and the AFP to continue developing your capabilities for conducting maintenance and repair, to keep all our military assets ready to go.
Aside from inspecting the C-130T aircraft, the Commander-in-Chief also witnessed the capability demonstration of the Hermes 900 unmanned aerial vehicle and the C-28B Grand Caravan X. The President also acknowledged the PAF for presenting him with an honorary Philippine Air Force Gold Wing Award, which inspires him to be counted among the esteemed list of Air Force awardees who have received the honorable distinction. Also included in the new PAF assets are 4 units of T-129 ATAC helicopters. Xinhua News Agency, citing Premier Li Keqiang, reported that China is ready to work with Malaysia and other Southeast Asian nations to speed up consultation for a South China Sea Code of Conduct. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim is visiting China on Saturday, and Mr. Li said Beijing is prepared to collaborate to jointly maintain peace and stability in the area. China and ASEAN have been working for nearly 20 years to establish a code of conduct covering the disputed area. Tensions have been rising between the Asian giant and the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Brunei as Beijing builds out disputed reefs, islands, and land formations and militarizes them with ports, runways, and other infrastructure. Army soldiers from the U.S. and the Philippines are holding live fire exercises as part of their annual joint military training aimed at enhancing strategic readiness capabilities between the two treaty allies. The exercises include firing of high mobility artillery rocket system, or HIMARS, and the use of anti-tank weapons. Take a look.
I think it's vital to our relationship with the Philippine Army and Philippine artillery to do these kind of exercises and do them interoperably so that we can continue to promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. And these are iterative exercises that we're going to continue, and they develop a relationship that we have with the Philippine Army and the Philippine Artillery just to promote good well-being between our two armies together.
Of course, it is important for us to get familiarized on the operation of HIMARS because we all know that we are now transitioning from internal security operations to territorial defense operations. And we know that HIMARS, not only HIMARS, but also other long-range firing assets like the MLRS. So these are all parts of essential equipment that we need in the conduct of territorial defense operations.
Ma'am, wala bang plano?
Now, the drills come after President Marcos Jr.'s decision in February to expand the US's access to his country's military bases, a move that has infuriated China, which accuses Washington of stoking tensions in the region. The live-fire drills took place at Fort Magsaysay in Luzon, the country's largest island, and one of the 5 existing sites the U.S. has access to under its Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, with Manila. Under that agreement, the U.S. can use the bases for joint training, pre-positioning of equipment, and building of facilities such as runways, fuel storage, and military housing, but not to maintain a permanent presence. Salaknib, which means shield in Ilocano, is an annual combined exercise geared at bolstering interoperability between the Philippine Army and the USRPAC. It started last March 13. It'll end on April 4, while its second phase is scheduled for the third quarter of 2023. More than 3,000 Filipino and U.S. soldiers are training side by side in this ongoing 8th iteration of the Salaknib drills. In tonight's other news, a powerful 7.0 magnitude earthquake shook northwestern Papua New Guinea before dawn today, according to the USGS. The trembler struck 97 kilometers from the coastal town of Wewak at a depth of 62 kilometers and occurred shortly after 4 a.m. local time, according to the USGS. No tsunami order was issued. Loosening of soft ground in the quake zone has potential to cause damage to communities in the area, according to the USGS, although the area is sparsely populated. The Seismology Agency also said such loosening, known as liquefaction, can cause substantial subsidence and horizontal sliding of the ground and result in major damage. The earthquake shook an area of about 100 kilometers east of the border with Indonesia on the island of New Guinea. In tonight's other news, the UN disarmament chief is warning that the risk of a nuclear weapon being used is higher now than at any other time since the Cold War. The meeting was requested by Ukraine and supported by the U.S. and Albania to discuss Russia's March 25 announcement that it plans to station tactical nuclear weapons on Belarusian territory. Take a look.
The risk of a nuclear weapon being used is currently higher than at any time since the depth of the Cold War. The war in Ukraine represents the most acute example of that risk. The absence of dialogue and the erosion of the disarmament and arms control architecture, combined with dangerous rhetoric and veiled threats, are key drivers of this potentially existential risk. All states must avoid taking any actions that could lead to escalation, mistake, or miscalculation. All states parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, or the NPT, nuclear weapon states and non-nuclear weapon states alike, must strictly adhere to the commitments and obligations they have assumed under the treaty.
At the council meeting, the two envoys verbally sparred over who had violated or withdrawn first from a number of arms control treaties.
It's unfortunate that this meeting was necessary today, but President Putin is escalating Russia's dangerous and destabilizing behavior by now threatening to deploy nuclear weapons in Belarus. He has once again reminded the world of his disregard for international law, including the UN Charter. Russia's suggestion that this intended deployment is somehow justified because of the use of armor-piercing ammunition is ludicrous. To state the obvious, armor-piercing ammunition is in no way analogous to tactical nuclear weapons.
Россия в 1990-е годы предприняла все усилия для вывода ядерных вооружений из стран бывшей СССР на свою территорию. Мы неоднократно призывали американцев поступить аналогичным образом, отказаться от мышления времен Холодной войны, вернуть все ядерное оружие США на национальную территорию.
The nuclear blackmail is one of the tools that Russia has exploited since the very beginning of the invasion. In addition, the shelling and seizure of Ukrainian nuclear facilities that have also aggravated the nuclear threats at the global level.
Russia said last month it would no longer comply with New START, and it announced this week that it would stop sharing nuclear weapons data twice a year. Washington said it would withhold its nuclear data in an effort to encourage Moscow to return to compliance with the treaty. Ambassador Nebenja claimed Moscow is stationing the weapons in Belarus to protect its ally from Western threats as the West sends more weapons to Ukraine. Just days after Moscow's February 24, 2022 invasion of Ukraine, a referendum in Belarus approved a new constitution ending its non-nuclear state status, paving the way for the Kremlin to move tactical nuclear weapons there. Fears of a nuclear war have been rising since the invasion, and experts believe that any Russian strike would likely involve small-size battlefield weapons called tactical, as opposed to strategic, high-powered, long-range nuclear weapons. Russia will start training crews on April 3 and plans to finish the construction of a special storage facility in Belarus for tactical nuclear weapons by July 1. Ex-Soviet state Belarus said on Friday that it was also ready to host strategic weapons. Hundreds of Thai firefighters and soldiers are battling a forest blaze less than 100 kilometers from Bangkok as the kingdom grapples with air pollution that has made nearly 2 million people ill this year. Take a look.
ก็จะเป็นสักวันถึง2 วันนะครับจากสถานการณ์ปัจจุบันเนี่ยเพราะว่าค่อนข้างยากเพราะว่ามันเป็นเขาแหลมแล้วก็หินเยอะใช่
ค่ะลำบากแล้วทีนี้เมื่อวานก็มีการทำฝนหลวงแต่ก็ไม่เป็นผลเพราะว่าอากาศมันร้อนค่ะแล้วก็มีฮอมาอุ้มน้ำที่จะมาเทใส่ไฟมันก็ยากเพราะว่าเปลวไฟมันขึ้นสูงแล้วฮอก็ลงต่ำไม่ได้การเทน้ำก็มีการพลาดจุดเป้าหมายแต่ก็ทำให้ป่าชุ่มชื้นขึ้นมาหน่อยนึงแบบลด
Now the blaze comes as Thailand grapples with a spike in pollution caused in part by agricultural burning that has seen the air in some northern cities rank among the dirtiest and most hazardous in the world this week. Since the start of the year, more than 1.7 million people have needed hospital treatment for respiratory conditions caused by air pollution, according to the latest figures from the Health Ministry. Local community leader Pasikran Poyun said the fire allegedly started from a lightning strike in the forest, which has been parched at the end of the dry season. Authorities had tried to trigger rain on Thursday by spraying chemicals in the air, but it had not succeeded. Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha is urging the top officials from the regional bloc ASEAN to help coordinate efforts to reduce cross-border pollution caused by agricultural burning. Farmers across Southeast Asia burn off stubble in fields every year after harvest time, causing widespread air pollution. The Bureau of Immigration here will do away with paper-based departure cards starting May 1st. Instead, passengers will now fill out the departure cards using the online portal eTravel, not earlier than 72 hours to not later than 3 hours from the scheduled time of the flight. The platform, initially launched in December, harmonizes and consolidates data collection processes at ports of arrival. Dennis Xavier, eTravel Technical Working Group chairperson, said that travelers may register at the portal starting April 15. The system is an initiative of a sub-technical working group of the Interagency Task Force, chaired by BI Commissioner Norman Tansinko. Now, he said in a statement over the weekend that this will be faster and more efficient immigration processing. A Cambodian airplane fanatic has built his house shaped like a private jet despite never having been up in the air himself. Construction worker Crack Pyo spent his $20,000 life savings building the concrete plane. Take a look.
Cứ nít chỉ đây sớm maiរបស់ខ្ញុំតាំងពីតូចបាទអញ្ចឹងក៏សប្បាយចិត្តដែលខ្ញុំបានសម្រេចក្នុងគោលដៅរបស់ខ្ញុំបានគឺសប្បាយចិត្តមែនទែនយើងអាចរស់នៅទីនេះបាទដេកនៅទីនេះចូលទឹកទីនេះហូបបាយនៅទីនេះបាទលើយន្តហោះបានជាកម្មសិទ្ធិរបស់យើងគឺយើងមើលហើយយើងធ្វើខ្លួនយើងបាទព្រោះអត់មានគណិតអ្នកផ្សេងទេកាលណាបើយើងគ្រាន់តែនិយាយប្រាប់គេអញ្ចឹងគេថាមិនអាចធ្វើបានទេគេថាមិនអាចចេះនឹកឃើញគួតចេះតែធ្វើនេះណាគិតអុយតែគួតតែឯងអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែប្រាប់ខ្ញុំគឺក្តីសម័យរបស់ខ្ញុំនេះជាកន្ទុកគេមួយទៀតបាទ
Footwear enthusiasts converge in Singapore for the Sneaker Con, one of the biggest sneaker shows in the world. Let's listen in.
I gotta confess, I'm a huge sneaker head, and I need to count the number of pairs of shoes I have. In my house, I have this altar of shoes, and I think it's expanding, and it's not good. My partner keeps complaining, but it's something you like, and it's something that grows with you in time. And when you have a love for sneakers and design, you always want to get something that interests you all the time. So
I think after COVID, generally speaking, like a lot of people started to wear their sneakers as well. So of course, sneakerheads, any era, like any generation time, like there are many sneakerheads since, like long time ago. But now many people prefer wearing the comfortable sneakers as well.
So far, I spent around 1.4K. Despite I did naggle a bit, but it's only like $80 lower. Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's still worth it. It's a good experience.
This pair is a limited edition released in 2007. Okay, and I'm aiming to sell around 11.5 thousand.
Now, fans waved shoes in the air, screamed for prices, while the two-day show meant serious business for collectors who brought rare sneakers to sell and trade. Among the offerings were a pair of limited edition 2007 What the Dunk Nike shoes selling for 13,000 Singaporean dollars or 9,800 US dollars, and Air Dior shoes designed by Dior and Jordan brand selling for 9,000 Singaporean dollars or 6,800 US dollars. More than 200 brands and over 150 traders and collectors came to the show, the first sneaker con to be held in Southeast Asia, and over 20,000 visitors are expected to attend over 2 days according to the organizers. Some left with a significantly lighter wallet and new kicks for their collection. V. Nayago, a 45-year-old Singaporean who owns around 100 pairs of sneakers, brought a pair of 550 Singaporean dollars custom Air Jordans inspired by Watch the Throne, an album by American rappers Jay-Z and Kanye West.
I have around about 100 pairs, and these pairs of shoes are from different brands. So I have some Nikes, I have some Adidas, I have Jordans, of course, and Golden Goose. So these are some of the brands I go for because of their uniqueness, the creativity, which captures me. Yeah.
And today on the show with us is a very special guest. We have very special guests with us. Miss Maharani Permaisuri Mindanao Darussalam. She is the president of the Pertubahan Bangsa Melayu in the country. And also we have with us Ms. Tenko Puteri Jadia Abang Mindanao Adam. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Okay. And they are both, she is the Secretary General of the same company, the Pertubuhan Bangsa Melayu here in the country. And they both just came from Cambodia and Kuala Lumpur for the MOA signing of the Malaysia-Philippines Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the program, Madams.
Maraming salamat po at kami po ay nagagalak at nakabalik ako ulit sa ASEAN in Focus for how many years after my husband passed away.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. I'm so sorry. But we are very happy to have you both here. And you just came from Cambodia and Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Yes.
Can you please tell us about this MOA signing of the Malaysia-Philippines Chamber of Commerce?
Yes. Actually po, first of all, binabati ko po yung ating mga kababayan, especially the Bangsa Melayu Filipina in the country, that we are very blessed na tayo po yung kauna-unahang naimbita sa Royal Government of Cambodia to a very special event that was a national iftar dinner in Cambodia. So, masyadong pili-pili po yung mga inimbita nila. Besides that, tayo po ay nagkaroon ng side trip sa Kuala Lumpur because meron tayong mga organizations na nakipag-tie up at nagkaroon ng partnership with Pertubuhan Bangsa Melayu Filipina. And my daughter will explain it further about the MOA signing.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for inviting us here for the interview and for making things happen. I know it's such a short notice, but we're glad that you're able to accommodate. Yeah, so, as my mom mentioned, there's about, I think, in Cambodia, where the first event where we attended, there was about 6,000 attendees. Wow. And that also kind of highlight the Muslim population in Cambodia. Ministers of the parliament at the Kingdom of Cambodia. And so we're also able to say hi to some of the individuals that we know from the Malaysian counterpart as well. So that was substantial. We're the only one who's invited on the Philippine side to actually attend the event.
And also, I believe you were also appointed as honorary advisor
Yes,
to the Philippines.
Yes.
Tell us about your role.
Actually po, tayo po ay masyadong overwhelmed for the appointment. Actually, hindi ko inaasahan yun. But it was really a overwhelming welcome to us in Malaysia. A fruitful event. Why? Kasi nagkaroon ho tayo ng partnership and collaboration with the Malaysia-Philippine Chamber of Commerce. And since they appointed me as one of their honorary advisor, ito po ay nagbibigay sa atin ng isang pagkakataon so that we can help our Filipino constituents, Filipino people, if there are some problems working in Malaysia, a job opportunities, so we can help them to have their work na hindi sila nalalagay sa peligro o panganib. Pangalawa, of course, exchange of cultures, traditions. So, since ang Malaysia at the Philippines ay very close, and they need, like us, na talagang alam natin kung ano yung kultura natin, and we know the history that we belong. Kasi napaka-importante po kasi na hindi lang po tayo nagpo-focus dito sa Pilipinas, but we must learn also our origin. Since we are Filipinos and we know that we came from Malay race. Yeah. So ito po yung isa sa pinopromote namin sa Pertubuhan Bangsa Melayu Filipina, that we Filipinos has no variation, no division when it comes to race, because we came to one race which is Malay. So doon po nila nakita kung ano yung ating pinoporsige na iparating sa ating buong sambayan ng Pilipino as well as the buong mundo. Merong mga chances na mag-open ng opportunity yung Malaysia. Pagdating po sa pagpili or shall I say, i-process yung mga kailangan natin, kailangan pa rin nila ako i-consult. And then, pwede rin pong mag-recommend ako kung sino-sino yung po pwede natin tulungan. Pwede rin tayo maka-identify ng any groups na ipapadala natin para magkaroon sila ng mga scholarships pagdating sa education, pagdating sa parang merong exchange of education. Oo. So, isa po yun sa ating gagampanan.
And you also said na itong MOA signing ng Malaysia-Philippines, hindi lang Malaysia-Philippines, how many more organizations were?
Okay.
Ilang MOA po yun?
Actually, yung nangyari po na signing of MOA ay 9 organization. In fact, I would like to express the thanks to all these organizations. First is the Malaysia-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and the United Nations World Peace Association. We have also the Majlis Kebudayaan and Warisan Nusantara, which is Nusantara Culture and Heritage Council, approved by Malaysia Register of Society and Jabatan Perdana Menteri. We have also the BIS Union and the Pertubuhan General Digital Malaysia, and also the Worldwide Wellness Club, and also Projasa Innovative SDN, and Agro Universal Resources. Kailangan natin yun sa ating mga farmers para marami tayong matulungan. And of course, the Twin Runs Media Group. So, yun po sila yung ating mga naging partner, collaborators, at nagkaroon tayo ng MOA signing.
So you were also an awardee from Dubai. Can you please tell us what is this award?
Well, it's been a busy year for my family. My mom just recently launched the first historical congresses last March, and prior to that, and you know, I was also part of that program. Prior to that, I was awarded for marketing, outstanding leadership in marketing for marketing conference, which is like covering globally.
Outstanding leadership for marketing.
So
in Dubai.
In Dubai. So the organization council covers like they have 2 events. One of which is in Dubai. One of which is in Las Vegas. So I opted to attend Dubai.
And you were awarded that.
Yes. I think there was not much. I think there was about like 200 nominees or something. Globally.
Dami,
so
200 and you were chosen.
So that's one of the awards.
And now back to Malaysia naman, to Kuala Lumpur, Cambodia, Dubai, now back to Malaysia. Aside from the benefits of our kababayans, farmers, covers culture as well, culture exchanges, di ba?
Yes, kasama po yun. Kasama yun sa napaka-importanting bagay na dapat pagtuunan ng pansin.
I'd like to add on what my mother said, because recently there was a professor from National Museum, of the Philippines, who attended the historical congress that we hosted in Davao like earlier in March. And so one of the things that he actually mentioned during his presentation is there wasn't much of a display, or artifacts that belongs to the Muslim community in the National Museum. It was pretty rare. And so one of the things that we aim to actually promote in our organization, Pertubuhan Warisan Bangsa Melayu Filipina and Pertubuhan Bangsa Melayu Filipina, is to actually foster potential exchange, perhaps even on not only in education, language, cultural, but also through exhibits, because I think that's really important for our generation, especially the younger ones. People are very visual, right? And they have nothing to see in this case. So hopefully in the future, that's something that we can work on, right? Granted that I don't necessarily think there's a lack of artifact, but rather lack of events that would actually promote such. So that's what we're working on. And the Majlis Kebudayaan Warisan Nusantara is actually the Nusantara Heritage and Cultural Organization, which covers, I think people are confused for everybody's understanding. Nusantara refers to the Malay world. That covers Indonesia, Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines, so Singapore. The Malay, Singapore, the Malay-speaking world, basically. And so they cover all of that. as a heritage organization. So having them as our partner potentially would mean that we would have access towards not only artifacts but the knowledge that those countries have, and how it would contribute to our overall like history, in general moving forward, how we shape our history today, in the past, and into tomorrow.
Thank you. I would like to thank you very much. And any last words before we let you go, ma'am?
Yeah, gusto ko lang pong pasalamatan ang NET 25. Yes, of course, the ASEAN in focus through my best friend, Rowena Maduma, na siyang laging nandyan para sa amin. And I was very thankful po sa inyo, ma'am, na in-accommodate niyo kami.
Thank you very much po. Kami po magpapasalamat sa inyo.
Sa lahat po ng nanonood sa amin sa Mindanao, of course, our royal house, the Kesultanan Melayu Maharaja Tabunaway Descendants Council, and of course, the Raja Sirungan Descendants, the Raja Mamalu, and the RG team. Basta sa lahat po ng nanonood sa amin dito, kami pa ay nagpapasalamat sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much.
On my end, I'd like to thank my team, Twin Rams Media. I know you guys have to push my schedules very erratically in the past few weeks, and helping Mom and I sort out our itinerary. Of course, our partners in Malaysia who actually supported us through our trip. So thank you for that warm welcome to Dato Gavin, to Gilbert, and Dato Marietta, and everybody and part of those organizations. I cannot mention all of your names, but thank you so much. And also for the viewers, right, our family in Mindanao who did not stop supporting us no matter how much hardship we had to go through, and the challenges of exposing the truth, so they were with us all this time. So thank you so much sa lahat na nanonood. Thank you.
And thank you very much. And hopefully all these MOA signings and all of the benefits that it will bring to our Filipino people. Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Maraming
sa
salamat
ginagawa po ninyo para sa ating bansa. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
Okay.
And as my usual habit, I'd like to end the day on a positive note. Let's encourage and build each other up so that no one is left behind. And that's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm Alma Angeles. Stay in the news because we live in extraordinary times. Good night.